Welcome back as we discuss making up a flared union. Flared joints, also called unions, are commonly encountered within commercial refrigeration plants. A typical flared joint comprises a flare nut, the flared tube end, and the connector nipple. A flare is a 45-degree seating which is created at the tube end. The flare matches the 45-degree chamfer of a connector nipple. To create the flared end, we require a flaring tool, normally supplied in kit form along with swaging tools. First, the tube must be secured between the two clamp blocks. We must select the corresponding hole to match the tube size. The tube is now placed into position and set so that the end protrudes slightly above the top edge of the clamp block. The clamps are then secured firmly. Next, the flare former is attached to the forcing screw, and the yoke attachment positioned as demonstrated. Once aligned, the former is forced into the tube by tightening down on the forcing screw, using only your hand strength. Do not over-force the screw. The assembly is now loosened up, and we can inspect our flare. Here we have some examples of poor flares. In this example, the end is too narrow as a result of the tube being clamped too low down in the clamp block. This flare is dangerous to use as it is likely to pull out of the flare nut under pressure. In the second example, the flare is too wide as a result of being set too high in the blocks. This example will result in leakage of refrigerant as it will not seal. The third common problem is that the flare is deformed, caused by the tube not having been squared off after a careless hacksaw cut. This problem will also result in a leaking joint. Once satisfied that our flare is correct, we next slip the two flare nuts onto the tube, assuming that both tube ends require flaring. The second end is now flared in the identical manner. Once made up, the tube should be blown through using dry nitrogen to remove any debris left from the cutting and flaring operation. Never use compressed air, as this will introduce moisture into the tube. To prevent further contamination, the tube should be sealed until you are ready to fit it to the unit. We have now demonstrated how to create a typical flared end. In our next demonstration, we shall look at brazed joints.